Right now, hundreds of people are still in the dark and without heat on one of the coldest days of the season so far. At one point, we were tracking large power outages in 3 Mid-South counties. Let's take a look at where we are right now. It looks like we have 1,000 customers in Tipton County still without power. At one point, more than 6,000 customers were without power in Tipton, Lauderdale, and Fayette County. We have team coverage this morning with boots on the ground in Tipton County and Covington. ABC 24's Scott Mattis is talking to those who are impacted, and ABC 24's Leah Williams is there as well. Let's start with Leah. Leah, what do we know so far?
Well, Yvonne, like you were saying, just from looking at the map, that the crews have been on the scene and they've actually been making some progress, especially here in Covington, with restoring that power. But again, like you said, Yvonne, there are still hundreds of people here in Tipton County that still don't have power on this very cold morning. Now, no word yet on exactly what caused the outages, but the utility told us that the outages are impacting the transformer's supply. How this is impacting businesses, schools, and even some essential services in Tipton County. How Crestview Middle School and elementary schools both dismissed students at 8:30 a.m. since it was cold in the building. And with it being, again, one of the coldest days of the season, one woman we talked to said she was struggling to stay warm this morning.
My heat is electric, so I had no heat. It was 19 degrees. And it actually just came on at 9:15 at my apartment. I stayed in my bed until I could get out. Then I went to sit in my car and heated up my car and sat in my heated seats for a few minutes.
As of right now, most of the Tipton County schools have had their power restored. And I stopped by the Tipton County Sheriff's Office here in Covington, and their power was restored as well. But of course, ABC 24 will continue to monitor those schools and local government agencies and other services to see how they're impacted. Live in Covington, I'm Leah Williams.
The power is coming back on for some people, but the impacts are still being felt by some, and we don't know when things will improve for them. ABC 24 Scott Mattis is outside Walmart, where we're told that there are still some issues there. Hey, Scott.
Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, live here off the Highway 51 corridor in Covington. Got here about 2 hours ago, and they were having some significant issues, as I understand this from customers and from those who work inside. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the front door. We're right by the pharmacy, home, and outdoor section. But as I was talking to some folks, they said that power did in fact go out, but it was restored inside the store and to most places along the Highway 51 corridor about an hour and a half ago. I can also tell you that the pharmacy was having some more issues, but they were able to get that wrapped up about an hour ago, maybe 45 minutes ago. But I did just get off the phone a short time ago with a representative with the Southwest Tennessee Electric Membership Corporation. Of course, those are the folks who essentially run the grid here, if you will, in Tipton County. And you can see some of these other associated stores in this parking lot. Now, they told me that they're right now backfeeding the Covington substation, giving power to parts of Covington, Henning, and Mason. And basically what that backfeeding means is rerouting the power from that substation to those other municipalities in this metropolitan, northern metropolitan area. Now, I can tell you, they also tell me that this power outage is as a direct result of equipment failure. I'm going to read from my notes here. It's called a current limiting reactor. Again, a current limiting reactor, this at the Covington substation. That was the affected area, causing that 6,000 plus people to essentially lose power this morning into the almost afternoon. And last check, there's probably around 3,100 people. This, according to the representative with Southwest Tennessee Power Electric that I just talked to. So once again, things seem to be running normal if you're on the corridor, Yvonne, but if you go off some of these side streets, as I just spoke with a gentleman who was here in the parking lot, he said his daughter is still without power, and she's off Old Memphis Road, which is not terribly far away from here. So again, the bottom line to this big story, still about 3,100 people here in Tipton County without power. They expect to have everything up and running again by the noon hour. So that's in about an hour and a half or so. So we're going to stay on top of the story. We're going to have much more coming up on ABC 24 News at 5 and 6 o'clock, as I'm going to go talk to the folks at that substation about what happened, what can prevent this from happening next time, and where do we go forward from here. Live in Covington, I'm Scott Mattis.